Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees, the moon up above, and a thing called love. Let me tell you about the stars in the sky, the girl and the guy, and the way they could kiss on a night like this. When I look into your big brown eyes, it's very plain to see.
Dear Diary.
Dear Journal. I don't care what the guys say. This is a journal, not a diary.
I'm beginning to fear that I will never get the experience the same. Carnal pleasures seemingly promised to the generations before me. To feel the embrace of love, I believe, was not meant for my kind.
I don't think I'll ever get laid.
I am unsure if this seemingly perpetual state of waiting will ever end. I sit here waiting my tower, waiting for someone to let down my hair for. But I haven't had any luck yet. I did, however, have a few people call from the foot of the tower, "You're not my type."
Nowadays, it seems like every girl is waiting for their Prince Charming. I guess no one finds me charming. I never thought I was that charming myself.
As I sit in this tower, I wonder if this prince will ever come. And if he does, will he like me? Will I like him?
I just don't think I'm the type of guy girls are looking for.
Will he be brave, daring, handsome, charming?
I'm not handsome, funny, smart, or interesting, so...
My friends endlessly babble about their so-called princes, but I don't necessarily think of them that way. They're pretty much just boys. No shining armor to be seen here. I'm uncertain if I should just be optimistic and wait for my prince, or give up and alter my expectations, just like everyone else.
You guys won't shut up about how it happened for them.
They also keep talking about how it happened for the first time.
They keep on talking about it, and I want to call them on their but I really can't. I can't prove them wrong. I mean, I haven't been in the same situations.
They kept making ludicrous statements that even an innocent child wouldn't believe, but not ones I could necessarily disprove. Due to lack of hands-on research, I can do nothing but sit and wait for these tall tales to be over.
Like, my buddy keeps trying to convince me that one day he was walking down the street alone, and this beautiful blonde Norwegian tourist walked up to him and tells him that she's all alone and needs someone to show her around town. He then goes and takes her to his favorite pizza place in town. After taking one bite, she says, "This is the best thing I've ever tasted." Then they go back to her hotel suite. At this point in the story, my buddy says that it was an all-day affair, raises an eyebrow and says, "And all night," and stares at me like I didn't already know what he was talking about.
One of these ridiculous tales is of my friend and her longtime boyfriend of 1 year. At the point the story is taking place and how they did it for the first time. She tells me that this was over the summer at his grandparents' lake house. Only they were there. They sat on the shore of the lake on the top of a picnic blanket that has been in his family for generations. And in the middle of the cool night air, listening to the crickets and looking at the firefly, they did it. After, they looked at the stars and talked for hours.
I mean, just completely ridiculous stories. But I won't ever say anything about them.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Stuff like this doesn't really happen.
This doesn't happen in real life. Does it?
It's very plain to see.
I'm not expecting something like that when it happens to me. If it happens to me. But maybe something like that will happen to me. But I doubt it.
I don't know, maybe I should just be optimistic. Maybe I will have a perfectly magical moment when it happens to me. Maybe I'll have my fireflies. Tonight, my friends are taking me to a party. Yes, me, the boring shut-in, will finally be able to go out, have fun, and get a glimpse of my future as an adult in college. My friends won't stop reminding me of how lucky I am to be given this opportunity.
My friend's throwing a party tonight. He says girls will be there. Maybe it will finally happen. Probably not. I'm just sick of walking around with a condom in my sock for nothing.
When I look into your big brown eyes, it is very plain to see that it's time you learn about the facts of life, starting from age 2.
Dear Diary, I met someone last night.
Dear Journal, the condom in the sock wasn't for nothing.
It was last night at the party, and it happened.
Last night at the party, I was standing there, going about as usual, talking to my friend and this girl he was flirting with, when out of nowhere, this girl walks up to me and starts talking to me. She must have liked something about me to do that.
I'm not precisely sure why, but I just walked up to a random guy and started talking to him. There wasn't anything particularly alluring about him. However, all of my friends were off flirting with other guys, and he seemed like the only person as lonely as I am, if not more so.
I don't exactly know what she saw in me, but we were just talking in the middle of that party for a while.
I started talking to him about my aspirations of becoming a writer and how I keep this diary, and he told me how he keeps a journal. It was essentially just a diary.
She started talking about what she wants to do in life, how she wants to be a writer.
I don't know why I instantly started talking about my dreams in my diary like that. I guess I just felt comfort in his presence, like I could tell him this stuff and he would listen, like I was safe.
I was pretty drunk at that point in the night, so I kept zoning in and out of the conversation while she was talking, but it sounded like she knew what she was talking about. I don't remember much from that night, but I remember that at some point while we were talking, some guys at the party got into a fight. Not exactly sure who though, because I had other things on my mind.
One thing I remember from that night was some people started fighting. Well, I'm not entirely sure what I could call fighting, but they were mostly just circling around each other acting like they were going to throw a punch or something. But it seemed as if they were both too scared to actually do anything. Anyways, I was a little drunk at that point in the night, so I kept talking and talking even though I had no idea what I was talking about. I hope he didn't notice. I think he did notice. I'm not sure if he likes me.
She was funny and seemed pretty smart, but she also seemed pretty drunk and kept using big words, and I'm not entirely sure she knew what they meant. Also, she kept talking like she was trying to write a poem verbally, but all the words were slurred and barely made sense.
But I probably came off as a babbling fool. He probably thinks I'm an idiot.
I kinda liked it. It was cute.
Well, anyways, back to the point. One thing led to another and we decided to, go somewhere.
At some point in the night, one of us asked the other, "Do you want to get out of here?" I forgot who asked though.
I told him to go wait out front, then I went and stole the keys to my friend's minivan. I took them from her purse while she was preoccupied with a guy of her own. I went out front and we both drove off. In my drunk, lust-filled days, I stole my friend's minivan and drove drunk. It wasn't that dangerous anyways, we didn't go that far, just a little down the road. But I still don't know what compelled me to do this so adamantly. I felt like I desperately needed to do this. It's not even my friend's minivan, it was my friend's mom's minivan. I'm not exactly sure what came over me, but we got there and back in one piece anyways.
I was a little nervous with her at the wheel, because I'm pretty sure I remembered seeing her with a drink in her hand at the party. But while watching her drive, I felt somehow safer. She seemed to know exactly where we were going, like she had a map in her mind or something, as if she planned this out before.
Well, we got there safely and, well, I don't really feel comfortable writing about this part, so I'm just gonna skip to the after it happened.
The minivan had a bunch of pictures of family members who looked nothing like her, and it kind of smelled like old fast food. But it was pretty comfortable. It was also a nice night.
After it happened, we didn't do much. We kind of just sat there in the cold night air. It was a little awkward, but I liked it.
After it happened, there was kind of a shift in her attitude. She was a lot less shy than before, and she dropped that whole poetry thing. I probably seemed different too. It felt comfortable.
As I was sitting there, I felt like I didn't want to go back to the party. I didn't want to leave.
At some point in the minivan, I realized that I never got her name, or that I forgot it. I
Looking
decided
back
not
on
to
the
kill the
night,
mood by
I realized
asking.
that I forgot his name. Or he never told me. I decided not to ask.
We didn't talk about much after. We just kind of sat in that minivan for a while, before she said that we should get back to the party. I could have spent the whole night in that car.
Even though I wanted to stay, I decided that I should get back, just in case my friends were worried about me.
We got back to the party just as things were winding down to a close. My friends told me that we had to go, so I said my goodbyes to the girl I had just met. She told me to call her, but I didn't have her name, let alone her number. As I was leaving, I noticed that her friends ran up to her. They seemed angry or shocked, or maybe both. We got in the car and went back to my friend's house.
When I got back to the party, my friends swarmed me. They were pretty upset that I had stolen the minivan, but after I explained the situation, they seemed to understand. It was a long yet pleasant drive home. I couldn't stop smiling.
Since that night, I've been trying to get in contact with her, find out her name, anything, but nothing yet. Apparently that party had a lot of girls from faraway schools. No one I know has contact with anyone who goes there. I asked the person who threw the party, but he didn't know who I was talking about.
It was a magical night, but he still hasn't called me. Do you think she's thinking about me?
When I look into your big brown eyes, it is very plain to see that it's time you learn about the facts of life, starting from A to Z. Well, let me tell you about the birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, the moon up above, and a thing called love. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, the stars in the sky, a girl and a guy, the birds and the bees, the flowers and the